Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 328 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. It's so good to have you here. Gonna be doing some Firefox live hacking today, and let's just get started. Why wait? Why delay? So let me share my screen. This is today's agenda. It's June 15th, 2023, episode 328. I'll start with the preamble I always give. No plan survives breakfast. I know kind of what I want to do today, even though I haven't really filled out the agenda. I know kind of what I want to do, but who knows how it'll go. We might get stuck or sidelined or rabbit holed. I haven't worked on any of what we're about to do. Like, the things I'm about to do, I haven't done in advance to see if they'll work. So who knows what'll happen. And that's just software development. And you're gonna hang out with me too as I go through it. That's the first thing. Second thing is that the agenda that we're looking at is something that you have access to. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, check out the details section over there. If you're watching this on YouTube or diode.zone, it's down in the description. And if you're watching this on Twitch, then it's down in the stream details. I want to get right to it. I should at some point plug the episode guide again. And I know I've got a couple. You know what? Maybe let's talk quickly about the episode guide and maybe merge some pull requests, because it's been a little bit of time since I've done that, and I should do that. So, the Joy of Coding episode guide. This is a viewer-driven episode guide for the series that you're watching, and there is a website that you can go to. You can check it out, and it looks like this. The link to it is in the agenda, and you can read up on stuff I've done in past episodes. We've got all the way up until episode 321. So we've actually got quite a few episodes that are missing, but I might merge in some pull requests today. But we've got a lot of episode information in here, and you'll get things like a link to the video and the sort of stuff I talked about. There's like a broken image here. I don't know what happened there, but this might help if you're looking for a topic that I covered in a previous episode. And if you have your own corrections that you want to, send, or your own addenda, or you want to expand on something, you can send me a pull request to the repository. So let's merge in some stuff, because it's been a little while. Once again, Smurf D, our prolific episode guide contributor, who's here. Akris asks if it's a new camera because it's very saturated. I'm in the office today, and so the camera I'm using is a different one. It's a Logitech camera, and I think it's doing like auto white balancing. And let me try and fix the saturation. Hold on. That's bad. That's bad. That's worse. That's worse. Oh, that's so much worse. Okay, hold on. Hang on. Maybe I should have let it be. Now I'm all purple. Now I'm all red. I don't know what I want to do here. I think there we go. Maybe something like that. Hopefully that's better. That's maybe less distracting. Let's see. Episode 322 and 323. These pull requests came in on May 6th, so it's actually been over a month since I've looked at this, and so I'm long overdue. This episode aired on April 19th, episode 322. And what stuff did I cover in episode 322? We were talking about the pin to toolbar bug, which we eventually figured it out. We did some figuring that out, and then we worked on a different bug. Yeah, I gave an update on the pin to toolbar thing, and then that bug got fixed. And then the about welcome business for I think there's like a test that was possible for about welcome to open an FXA sign flow. Right. This is not related to a test. It's related to a patch that helps make it so that sign into Firefox account is smoother. And Akris, it was actually Akris in the chat who saved the day there and helped me identify the fact that I was attaching a progress listener to the wrong browser, because we were dealing with multiple browser elements. So that one seems good. I'm happy with that. Let April 19th ship it. And this one was 323, April 26th. Those links all look good. We talked about Are We Fast Yet? I did some code reviews, and I did some jump list updates. And then I talked about being on the Thundercast, which I was on. I'm going to approve these changes. This looks great. And I'm going to merge them in. Thanks so much, SmurfD. You know, I'm pretty, like, I'll merge anything. If you've got interesting, useful things to add to the episode guide, I'll merge it in. Episode 324 was on May 10th. Wait a second. We just did this. Hang on. Did we? No, we didn't just do this. Okay, on May 10th. That's correct. And we talked about the podcast. I'd skipped a week because I was on the podcast, and I talked about the device migration work and a wizard and doing some stuff on the migration wizard that's built into the browser. We fixed a string, and then I did some jump list stuff, apparently. Okay. And then 325 on May 17th. Talked about some changes we were making to Sumo. We worked on Sumo for a little bit that day, which was very interesting. And then did some payment methods stuff and some code reviews. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's merge that in. I don't know why I did the review and approve before. I don't actually need to do that. I can just confirm it. Thanks so much. And the last one is 326 and 327. Which was May 31st. I talked about Firefox translations. Those are, I think, enabled right now on nightly and in early beta. I don't think it's riding out in 1.15, but it's being tested in the early betas of 1.15. Talked a little bit about Windows jump lists, and we came up with our new plan. And, on how to deal with, the complexity of the Windows jump list, stuff we might get back to today. And then we talked about what we need to do to retire the old migration wizard. And an update, I actually ended up landing the patch that allows the old migration wizard to no longer be used on Nightly. Like, we now show the new migration wizard if you're doing a Firefox profile refresh, reset, or you run the migrator on from the command line. So that's all fixed. And that means that we can eventually, once that all ships and goes out the door and we double check that no one else is using the old migrator, we can get rid of the old migrator, which is great. And then episode 327, which was June 7th, that was only last week, we went deeper into Windows jump list stuff in earnest. And I think there was a lot of renaming and building because we were just kind of like laying the groundwork for some of the work that we're going to be doing today. So that all looks great. Thank you so much, SmurfD, for all of that. So there it is. There it is. So in the background, I actually, how in episodes past I've needed to do like a build on my virtual machine or on my Windows machine and my local machine. We'd like find some work to do because my local machine isn't building. Well, it's the other way around now. I've got my local machine doing a debug build of the latest tip from Mozilla Central, but my Windows machine is all ready to go. So we can actually focus on some jump list stuff today. So let's do that. So where were we last week? We can kind of pull our notes forward because we have this to-do list. I'll just copy this, but let's keep going. Okay. So we already did some of this stuff, and now I want to... I created a new NSI jump list builder interface, is what I recall doing. Let's take a look at the commit tree right now. Did I create a commit? I've got the renaming the old one, and then do I have any uncommitted changes? Yes, I do, because I've got our new interface here, jump list builder. So I created the new interface, and then I added that interface to XPIDL sources. I also copied these old source files, jump list builder legacy. I've like forked them off of the legacy ones, and I'm going to what am I going to do? I need to actually register these so that they're built. Right now they're not building. And I don't think they will build because I've changed the interface so much. So what we need to do is we need to open up these two files. Jump list builder, CPP. Not the legacy one. No. No, no, no. Jump list builder dot cpp, this one. And then jump list builder dot h. Okay. We're going to open up these two. And you know what? It would probably be helpful. Let's close everything that's not been modified. Let's kind of clear our... let's close everything. Let's close it all. Close everything. We're starting from scratch, and we're going to get jump list builder dot cpp open. Not the legacy one. Come on. Builder. Jump list builder cpp, and then jump list builder dot h. These are the two we want, and then we want widget moz.build. I think this one. And widget windows moz.build. So we're going to put the new jump list builder.cpp here. I don't expect that to build properly, but we want to add it to the list of things, and then we're going to tell this to use jump list builder.h, not legacy, and we're going to rename this back. I may have gone about this a little sideways, but this is going to use we're not going to use jump list item or legacy jump list item. I'm gonna suggest that we actually remove much of this and only put it back if we truly need them. So I'm gonna agile reference, lazy idle thread attributes. I don't know which ones we're gonna need just yet. But I'm going to just start getting rid of stuff. This was using, the legacy one was an observer. What was that observing? Legacy jump list builder observe. What was it observing? Profile before change. So on shutdown, it would like shut a bunch of things down, I see. Clear out some stuff. We might need to keep being an observer to clean up. We'll do that. Thread safe I supports. Okay, legacy jump list builder. No, we're going to be NSI jump list builder and an observer. We're going to do this. S building, we're going to get rid of that. I'm just going to start getting rid of a bunch of stuff now. We're going to get rid of all of this. And now we can start emptying out jump list builder. Today's agenda date, so it shows June 15th. Did I get the date wrong? I did. Thank you. Whoops. Must have fat fingered that. Just give that a second to save and synchronize. Let's see. Did it synchronize or yeah, that should be fixed now. Okay. Thank you for the correction. Okay. So we're constructing, that's all good. We're really, I'm wondering if we should just get rid of all of this stuff. Setup-api.h defines this as dword. What is setup-api.h? Is that a thing from Windows? I see. Is that something that we get from shobjidl.h? Okay, maybe we'll just leave that for now. Leave that. We're going to get rid of the rest of this for now. We're just going to start from scratch. Real simple. Let's just get it to build. So we're just gonna empty everything out. We'll probably need this stuff eventually. But for now, it's all going. Eventually I'll want to clean up. But I'll keep it now. I'll keep the observer stuff. But let's clean out everything that we don't need just yet. Don't need that. Pref. We're going to say we're going to implement jump list builder, NSI observer, topic. Okay. Data. Namespace detail. I don't think we need this anymore. Doesn't know. These members don't exist anymore. Let's just get rid of all of this stuff. We'll probably end up copying some stuff in. Oh, the observer. Let's put the observer back. Add strong observer. So I think it probably makes sense to do that. Okay, pref taskbar enabled. Did I get rid of a... Okay, pref taskbar enabled. What was that? Okay, pref taskbar enabled. Okay. That's for a preference observer. What were we doing with that preference observer? It's pref change. If we disabled pref taskbar, then we delete all the favicons. Oh, I see. Same thing if we were to delete. Okay, I see what's going on here. Strong observer, observer service, and then remove the observer. We're probably going to need preferences.h again. Preferences.h, there it is. And the observer service. Right there. Okay. So that gets us this. Okay. Doesn't know what that is. We're going to get rid of this. That's the wrong name. So we've got a destructor. And now we also need to implement the one API. These two, both of these, we need to implement these. So we actually did this in our other patch. We can actually take a look at that and see what we did. So those two functions were obtain and cache favicon. Oh, jeez. Obtain. So let's copy that. Copy that. Obtain and cache favicon. Okay, and then the other one was populate jump list. This thing here, might as well copy that. Or just return NSOK there. And I think the rest of this we can get rid of. Just gonna get rid of it. Real simple class. Very small. I just want to see if it builds. All right. Meanwhile, how's our build going on our host machine? Still going through DOM. So, you know, this might take a while. It's a debug build, and I haven't built a debug build in a while, so my SC cache is probably like not very useful right now. Uh-oh. Heavy T-storms coming. I presume that means thunderstorms. If you're in the Toronto area. Oh, now it's just cloudy. Weather, so changeable. The only certainty is change. Akra says it might be like a 2-hour build. Maybe. Let's hope we can do better than that. Okay, so jump list builder. It's never heard of IO thread. Oh, right. It doesn't know what IO thread is. It doesn't know what a promise is. Okay. So what I'm gonna do there is I'm gonna bring in promise. Promise.h. That's easy. And the IO thread, this is actually our opportunity to do this right, which is to use the background thread pool rather than creating a new thread. So before, like if you look at the legacy jump list builder, it was like creating a new lazy idle thread. And what we really want is to use the background thread pool. We can take background thread pool. There's this like huge meta bug about trying to shift us over to using the background thread pool rather than creating one-off threads. And so we can use one of these as a as inspiration. Let's find some where we fixed it for a piece of code that I understand. Host notification, sure, I've been in there before. It's from about a year ago. So how does it work? Well, instead of creating an NSI thread, a named thread like that, you just dispatch a background task. Okay, well, that's not exactly right. We need actually to get a hold of a thread. And I don't know if our what is it? Jump list builder, the way we're currently doing it, we need to pass in the thread because favicon helper. Where's that from? Widget. Favicon. Where's favicon helper? Obtain cached favicon. It's from WinUtils. See, this thing expects a thread to be passed. There are two places, one from jump list item and the other one from here. And yeah, lazy idle thread. Is there a way of getting the background, a reference to the background, to a background thread? Add a way to get a background event target. That sounds right. kind of, at least. Thread pool, pool dispatch. So you can create a task queue and then IO thread. IO pool. IO pool. Okay, well, what else we got? I've seen. This is one I'm familiar with because I think I helped review this one. Instead of using an IO thread, so dispatch back. Oh, geez, see, that's no good. I need a handle on the thread. Why is that though? Windows helper. What's the name of the file again? WinUtils. Idle thread happens to be a serial event target. And that's what it expects, a lazy idle thread. I might have to keep using the same technique until we can move it off. If like, because this isn't one of those things that's shared between this and the old mechanism. As much as we've like decoupled ourselves from the old mechanism, this shared library in WinUtils is still used. From both. It's we haven't decoupled ourselves from WinUtils, so I think we're actually going to have to use the old mechanism, the MIO thread mechanism. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I'm not super thrilled, but once we get rid of the old jump list, the legacy jump list builder, we should try updating the WinUtils maybe I'll just make a note for later. Make a note for later. Make a note to migrate the new jump list builder off of the dedicated lazy thread and use the IO thread pool instead. All right, so we've got our MIO thread. I need to declare that member. And the way you do that is very similar to right here. It's just a ref pointer. It's going to be a private member. It doesn't know what a legacy or a lazy idle thread is, so we're going to have to bring that in. That goes under jumplessbuilder.h. Maybe let's be a little more consistent and put NSIs above. Or hey, let's put it, keep them in alphabetical order. Case sensitive. I think that's more common. LM. There. Okay. So now we are creating our lazy idle thread here, and that gets passed, that gets passed. Let's see if this builds. Meanwhile, back on the host machine, we've finished compiling the graphics layer almost. We're now compiling our image libraries. Exciting times. Doesn't know what I mean by this. Okay. Do that as well. Oh, not in the H file. Sorry. CPP. Here. Let's see what it thinks of this. Heavy Rain. Did anyone ever play that game? I think it's like a detective game. I never played it. I don't know if it's any good or not. I just, if anyone just watched me do this, it's because I found a piece of popcorn on my lap, and instinctually I just ate it. I had a bag of popcorn earlier. Okay. It doesn't know. Oh, I need to implement the observe method as well. That's what it's complaining about. Excuse me. I don't know if what the latest C++ styles are, but I'm sure our linting will help me out later. Okay. Right. That all looks still valid. All right. Save. Build. Well, have an... Is that symbol an umbrella? I can't tell. In Matrix, it looks like just like an A with an accent on it, like the hat accent, and then a tilde. So I don't... People are also saying I can sing in the rain. What's going on? These are all great suggestions. I love the wacky suggestions. I might sing. I might use an emoji umbrella. Thank you for the for all the wonderful suggestions from the crowd. That's great. All right, we're Lincoln. We're Lincoln like Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln Park. Let's go. All right. Linking worked. We did it all. Okay, so we've got our very basic structure of a thing that will start. It will, once constructed. I mean, nothing's constructing it yet, but if it were to be constructed, it would, create this lazy thread, and then could potentially, like, it just exposes these basic... This actually works. This is a nothing burger, but like that's going to be doing most of our heavy lifting, and then this fella here just handles all the shutdown, so that's all good. I think what I want to do next is figure out what we want to do to construct this thing. I think we had talked a little bit about how win taskbar, NSI win taskbar. Oops, why did it split it like that? Did I? For some reason, it opened it in an interesting split. There's like of the legacy jumpless builder here. I want to do retrieve a taskbar jumpless builder. Okay. We're gonna do this. Create jumpless build. Fairest of jumps already been initiated. Developers should make use of a single list for building lists within an application. Okay, create jumpless builder. Private browsing, okay. That's what we're going to do there. And then win taskbar. CPP. Here. Create jumpless builder. Okay, we're not going to do this. We're going to say we're not going to do it this way. This is, I don't think we want to create them this way. I think what we should do instead is equals builder equals new jump list builder, a private browsing. If not builder, expected, as if add ref, a jumpless builder, okay. And then we generate the app user model ID. Here's what I'm thinking we do instead. Instead of exposing yet another method like set app user model ID. Let's do this. We'll generate our app user model ID, and then we'll pass that in our constructor. So jump list builder then will take a string, NSA string. What kind of string does it come that comes back? And it's auto string. User model ID. What? To take NSA string. Okay, that's what we'll do. It'll be like, okay, this is what you get in your constructor. You get one of these. App user model ID, and then over here we will interesting. It's the thing that you have to like call on the jump list manager when you've created it. I see. I think that's the sort of thing that we like do off main thread. We're gonna like dispatch a message off of the main thread to do that. So for now we'll just ignore it, but dispatch to do. Dispatch a task to set the app user model ID. All right. Build. Will it build? Layout is now building on the host machine, so that's exciting. I've only dropped 44 frames during this stream. That's great, considering I'm doing a build in the background. Like OBS and this machine's doing very well, considering all the heavy stuff it's doing right now. Good job. Okay, build failed because NSI jump list builder was not found in NSI Win taskbar. It doesn't know what I'm talking about. That's because I have to import that interface. NSI jump list builder. Now, what is the thread that we were using in the legacy jump list builder to do all this work? It was on the IO thread. Okay. So we're going to dispatch a runnable on the IO thread. The IO thread, I think we want that to own the jump list manager, like the actual back end. So I think we should do that next. Once this builds, we should actually construct the thing, which is what powers jump lists. Now, and we want to do this in a way that we can sub it out. That's part of what this is for, is like we want, Bad implicit conversion constructor. Did I not declare? Alright, hold on. What are you complaining about? Bad implicit conversion constructor. No, consider adding the explicit keyword to the constructor. Explicit conversion. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? I'm violating some kind of C++ rule. I'm able to avoid the implicit conversion of a constructor using explicit keywords. So now conversions like A1 equals 10 can be avoided. But I can initialize. How do you disable the object creation system? How much can I create if we pass an integer as a parameter? You can delete anything, not an int. Oh, I see. We're trying to avoid coercion of types. So maybe I do want the explicit. What do we tend to do here? This does seem to be the thing to do. Okay. We didn't need to do this, I guess, for the legacy jumpless builder because the constructor did not take any arguments. Okay, so that's how it's done. Is that how it's done? Explicit cache storage. Guess I can just put it in the header. Is that enough? Three hours on your machine without OBS. I presume this is with SC cache, Akris? One of the things that I used to do, and maybe now that I'm in the office more we should do again, is we use the distributed build capabilities of SC cache to like basically pool cycles, free cycles on our machines to help build binary builds of Firefox. And that was nice. Maybe it's time to bring that back. Error unknown type jumpless builder. Do you mean NSI? NSI jumpless builder? I think I need to import. What is it? Jumpless builder or WinTask bar. I need to include jumpless builder.h. There's really no order here, is there? Include Mozilla widget jump list builder .h, which means I think that I have to export it. Oh, building the media stack now. Okay. Okay. Warning, unused variable on line 433. Right. Was that mine? It was. Get rid of that. But it built, and it's linking. Mandatory what? Compiling? Yeah. This is what happens whenever you're writing native code on Windows. But let's see here. We can keep moving now. So this creates a jump list builder. That's good. I want to think a little bit now about how we want to create the back end. Whether or not basically the idea is that we would have a wrapper around let's see. How do I want to do this? I want to be able to do C++ and dependency injection, basically. Dependency injection in C++. What does that look like for some people? But like, I need to be able to do it across threads. So I need to like hand the object that I create. Oh, jeez. How do I want to do this? Maybe what we want to do is make it so that you can optionally call the constructor because we got burned by this last time because when the other thread went away, on shutdown, it was complaining because the IO thread was causing destruction of a thing that wasn't created on that thread. And that happened to be like the jump list builder backend. So how do I want to design this? Thread. because I want my test to be able to run on the main thread and construct the sort of the instrumenting thing on that thread and then pass it to our, like a jump list builder implementation, our jump list builder implementation. What's the right way of doing that? Here's what I'm thinking. We could have the jump list builder constructor take a second optional argument, which is an implementation of the backend, jump list backend. And maybe that's what I'll even call it, jump list backend. And in the case of our test, we'll pass an instance, and what jump list builder will do is it will hand a it will move that reference Effectively, what I'll want to do is create a thing, like an instance of a jump list backend with locking, and pass that in. It'll transfer a reference to that to the IO thread and use that to call into. And then the test can like wait for it to get access to the lock and then have the test implementation regurgitate what it was called with. Good. And in the normal scenario, the non-testing scenario, we don't pass anything. If it doesn't detect that something was passed as a second argument, that's when it will construct the real backend. Instead of transferring one, it will tell the IO thread, construct one of those things with that interface. No locking required. And only the test and the test implementation of the backend will need to do the locking stuff. Okra says this feels like a strategy pattern. Winky face. Yeah, kind of. I know what you're saying. Okay. We had on our other commit here basically what I'm describing, which is the back end, the jump list back end. And I want to pull that out now. Hang on. That's the wrong patch. This one. Jump list. Jumpst. Here, this thing. Jump list manager base is what I called it. But I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to call it jump list manager backend. Class jump list backend. Base. Virtual ref counting. Proof of lock. See, I don't think I'll need the proof of lock anymore. we'll have the individual methods take the lock. We won't need this method anymore. Won't need the proof of lock. Whoa, what happened to ref pointer? Begin list, that's what I wanted. Set app ID. I guess we'll also need that. We don't need the lock. Begin list. Void PPV. That's wrong. That wrong. This, and then the rest of these I think I can just like truncate those. Got that one got cut off. Append category. Append category. After the proof of lock, it was like that. Commit list. Don't need a proof of lock. Abort list. Don't need a proof of lock. Delete list. Append known category. Okay. Then I declared an implementation of this. I can probably do that in jumplistbuilder.cpp though. Here, I don't know if I'm gonna need okay, I might need some of these things. Class jump list backend public jump list backend base. I guess it's ref counted. Okay, and then we have our constructor. And here's where I think we'd want to like obtain our reference to the M jump list manager. So let's get our reference. Jump list backend. Now I'm not. It's too confusing to call this M jump list manager. So what are they? What is this thing actually? It is a custom destination list. So I'll call it mdest list. Windows dest list. Actually, now the implementation of each of these will actually need to pass through. And the way that works is overriding these virtual methods. Override Moz assert and we're going to ensure that we're not on the main thread. Moz assert not is main thread. Okay, and then just pass it along. Why doesn't it like that? I wonder. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Set app ID. That's what I'm saying. And that form will be pretty consistent, I think, where we will override the virtual method and we'll just pass stuff through. Dest list, add user tasks. Category, set category. List, commit list. Turn and Windows dest list, board list. And Windows dest list, delete list. And the last one. Return m Windows dest list, append known category, category. All right. And then the destructor do we want to do anything special there? Not really. Guess. I'm not gonna override it. I feel like that was the sort of thing that we had to like we needed to override it. I seem to recall. All right, let's see if this builds. And if this works, then the next step is to get a reference on the M-Windows dest list. Too many errors. Too many errors. Did I mean to use dot? Did I? Am I supposed to use dot? No, I don't understand. Fatal error. Member reference type is not a pointer, but it's used like a pointer here. I'm jump list manager. How did that get declared? Such a mess. Such a mess. We got a real mess on our hands here. I'm hoping that once the dust clears, we'll have something real nice. Oh, right. I need to do this. I need to, like, cast it. Or, yeah, okay. For some reason, I need to do it this way. Maybe the people who know our C++ Windows stuff better will be able to tell me a better way of doing this. I'm eager for their feedback. Build. What a pain. Meanwhile, building the security directory. Oh, nope, still media. Maybe both. Maybe I'm building both security and media in parallel. Cores are saturated, gang. Feels like a good idea to have a helper function for those 3 lines copy and pasted several times. I believe you're talking about these things, right? Yeah, maybe. It might be worth factoring that out. All right, what else are you complaining about? Cannot be defined in the result type of a function. Did I? Constructor can have a return type. Did I say it had a return type? Hold on. CPP 27. Class. Error. Cannot be defined in the result type of a function. Missing semicolon? Maybe. Maybe that's it. I doubt it. Well, it's possible. I'm willing to entertain the possibility. After ref counting. I don't think so. I have a feeling that macro includes the semicolon. Yeah, we don't normally... Oh, this one puts it on. That's interesting, but it's not mandatory. Okay. Okay, the semicolon at the end was the move. Good job, Ocris. You got it. Now what I want to do is get an actual reference to this NSI or this iCustom destination list and do that in the constructor. Now the way I think that's done is like this. Failed, then return. We won't need a lock. Now, are we sure it needs to be an agile reference now? I guess. Might no longer be necessary for this to be an agile reference, which would make this a lot cleaner if this could just be a ref pointer. Like, maybe it can be. Let's just see what happens. Ref pointer iCustom destination list. And then we don't need to do this part necessarily. Well, let's just see what happens. Will that build? It might not know what I mean by this. MS-Com ensure MTA. Where's that from? From here. So I might have to bring that in. What was it complaining about? There were some complaints. Use of undeclared identifier. I'm jump list manager. Oh, right. Sorry. Yes, that is the wrong name. It should be MWindows dest list. Let's see what happens if we just do that. And if that's the case, then we can get rid of... We'll keep the asserts. Like there's... It's nice to kind of like have that This assert's very explicit, but maybe we can get rid of the cast. Watching a stream of someone building Firefox to pass their time while waiting for Firefox to build locally. Yep. I've been there, Greg. Special shout out to Greg Pappas, who has been contributing patches to help remove a bunch of old expired preferences that aren't used anymore. Special shout out. Thanks for all your work. Thanks for the patches. You're helping us clean stuff up. So that built. Let's just do that for now then. And if it turns out that we actually need to use the agile reference, then we'll move back to it. But for now, let's do this. Dependency injection, am I right? All right. To do document. We should also ensure that this thing is constructed not on the main thread. Right. So now what I want to do, we've got that building. The last step is I'm going to have an optional argument to jump list builder, the constructor. Jump list backend base. Some implementation of a jump list backend. And now that I think about it, maybe I'll just call this as jump list backend. And then I'll call this one native. Okay. Then I want to be able to like construct one of these things and pass a reference that gets transferred to another thread. Ref pointer, a jump list backend, and that defaults to null. And then if it gets passed in the constructor, ref pointer, list backend, a jump list, a testing backend. That's what I'll call it, a testing backend. Then, if a testing backend, dispatch a task to that transfers, not transfer, that hands a reference to the testing backend, to the IO thread, to the background thread. The testing backend is expected was probably constructed on a different thread, and it is responsible for doing any locking and cleanup. Okay, so else dispatch a task that constructs the native jump list backend, and then dispatch a task to set the app user model ID. Okay, so let's do these things now. I've got 1 minute basically, but I'm curious to know if this will build. And if this builds, we can maybe pause there. We've got something that probably works. We'll want to send a task that constructs the native backend, and maybe even we can pass the app user model ID at the same time instead of dispatching two tasks. We can probably just combine these two, and sets the app user model ID. Also sets the app user model ID. So it does not like that. Out of line definition of jump list builder. Wait, hold on. Ref pointer. Use of undeclared. Oh, right. I think it's because I need to forward declare. This thing needs to be declared earlier because it does it all in order. Holy smokes, I think my build is done. Build's done. Took 103 minutes, y'all. But now you can see the memory leak that I'm going to be investigating later. If you want, well, I'll show it to you. So while that's running, this is building. It built, y'all. I think that's worth committing. Yeah. Whip. Create a jump list builder, a new jump list builder implementation that is simpler and works off and doesn't block the main thread. And I probably, are there new files that I created? Like HG status widget, did I? No, okay, so that's good. I'm actually, let's see if we can take this just a little further, if you'll indulge me. Let's do the thing where we actually construct. Let's do the thing where we construct it. You know what I should do actually? Instead of just HG exporting, I can look at like the Fabricator revision, which is more or less up to date, and pull text from there. New runnable method. It's like that. That's the sort of thing I want to do. New runnable method. Don't need to do that. We do need to pass the string. We're not returning a promise. Jump list builder. We're going to pass a ref pointer. Jump list builder. And we'll call it like setup testing testing backend. Jump list builder. Do setup testing backend. And we're going to say we're going to pass in the AApp user model ID, and we're going to pass the testing backend, and then dispatch. What are the different levels? NS dispatch, normal, where is this defined? NS normal, dispatch, I'm gonna say normal, okay. Else ref pointer, that we're going to say setup backend, do setup backend, should probably be consistent there. And then we're going to set up our two methods here. There's one called setup testing backend and one called setup backend. Jump list builder Set testing backend. Testing backend and a app user model ID. And then the other one, let's it's going to be setup backend. And we're going to ensure that we're not on the main thread. We run these. And then we'll declare them. Set up backend. So testing backend. There. Say string. And then over here, this should probably be constants. Is that? I don't know if it'll accept that. New runnable method. String. Okay, and a string. Const and a string. Something like that. All right. Does that build? Will it build? What? I didn't get a leak this time? That's wild. I wonder if it's because it's so slow, the debug build. Like, I might need an optimized debug build to get the leak in this case. That's a pain in the butt. But will hopefully take not as long. I'm on debug. I might need build with debug opt. All right. So it doesn't like this because set a backend. A type specifier is required for all declarations. Right. Void. Void. And then more problems. More problems. and the problems are legion. Okay, error, out of line definition of jumpless builder does not match any declaration because I missed something. Did you mean no member name do? Oh, do setup. Do. Do setup backend. That's how I indicate that's like, okay, you're running. This is a task that's being run on a different thread. Oh, I got it. Really? Do I? Huh. Do I have... Oh, I see. Don't need that anymore. Still unhappy. This time it's because no type of first parameter of member declaration does not match definition. Oh, right. I got confused, and instead of it being jump list builder, it should be jump list backend. Same here, jump list backend, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. And then over here, backend. If this builds, even if this doesn't build, I think I'm going to call the stream there. And we can keep working on this. Oh, no, it still doesn't like it. Why are you so sad? Doesn't match. Eric Def. Let's builder. Out of line definition doesn't match. On line 113, this doesn't match this. Does it not like the default? Builder. For real though. Oh, NSA string versus NS string? Are you sure? Did I? NSA string. Oh, there, you're right. You got me. You got me. Let's put this back so that most callers don't need to supply that thing. Ocarus saving my butt on the reg. Well, I'm just like thinking about how this works. Okay, it's linking now. That's good. At this point, we're at a place where we could like do a quick sort of like smoke test and construct the new jump list builder and make sure that the right things are getting dispatched to the right threads. So we'll do that next time. So I'm going to commit this change, and we're gonna pause there. Hey, thanks so much for watching The Joy of Coding episode, what is it? Episode 328 of The Joy of Coding. I know that was a lot of building, but we're making forward progress. Unfortunately, building on Windows does take some time. Native code changes they do take time, but we are making forward progress. And I'm thinking next week we might actually be able to like port a lot more of the operable code, like the stuff that actually puts things into the jump list, next week. So that might be pretty exciting, and we can figure out what sorts of problems we run into then. I can already, like, in the back of my mind, I'm so worried because we're just like handing objects references across threads and hoping. At least though that's only for the testing implementation, or like in the testing mode. So that I'm actually less worried about, or like I'm less worried about the normal operation mode, because we're gonna construct the Windows, like the custom destination list, on the same thread that ends up like talking to that thing every time. So I'm happy about that. All right, well, thanks for watching episode 328 of The Joy of Coding. Let me know what you thought. There is a rate this episode link at the bottom of the agenda. Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to put on that bullet. Let me know what you thought. Click on this. There's a form. If you follow it, there's a form you can fill out. It's anonymous. You can tell me what you thought of the episode, and then in the end, if you answer all these questions, you get a free photo of me making a funny face or something. That's what you get if you fill all this out. And I read everything that comes in. So if you've got questions or if you have feedback on the series, you can let me know through that form. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Have yourselves a great day. Oh, hold on a second. There's a question. What are your thoughts on the documentary Project Code Rush? I actually watched it during a previous episode. I think if we dig through the episode guide, we can actually find which episode I did that on. Joy of Coding Code Rush. On December 15th, which was episode, I think it was like last year. Episode 273. I watched Code Rush on the stream, and I kind of supplied commentary. So I encourage you, hola we dem boys, to watch episode 273 of The Joy of Coding to get my live take. TLDR, wow, there was a lot of cocaine back there. That's my TLDR. Anyways, thanks again for watching, everyone. Episode 328 of The Joy of Coding. I hope to see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Let me hit some music to close us out. See ya.